Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Luis Lima. He's helping me here with all the technical stuff because it drives me insane. I'm terrible. I hope everybody's listening and seeing because I am terrible at the technical stuff. So, the great Luis Lima, who just had the premiere of his show, Evolution, just finished and he stayed just to help me. So, I'm so thankful, so grateful. Thank you. And we are starting today a new program called Universal Truth, idea of Vanessa Anceloni, where we are going to try to bring the concepts of spiritism. Obviously, that's the door we chose, right? Um, but comparing to every philosopher and authors, um, and the idea is to find our commonalities, not what divides us, but what unites us. And I think when we see history and we see the evolution of religion and spirituality, we sadly see so many wars, so many division over our concept, our idea of where the truths are. And the truth is everywhere. There are many, many doors, and the Spiritist doctrine does not claim exclusivity of the right things and the right concepts. If you are not with the Spirit's book, you are wrong and we are right. No, there are many doors. Spiritism is the door for many of us. That's my door. The door to finding that connection with the sacred, the connection with the divine. That's the door that fits this incarnation for me. This is perfect for my understanding, where my level of understanding is of the great mysteries of the world. But that doesn't mean we are not supposed to read everything there is to read and read the great philosophers, read the great American authors in the modern spirituality. And we are going to keep and constantly find that what unites us is so much larger than what divides us. So there is no need for us to be fighting with each other. My book is the right book. I am right. You're wrong. I'm going to be saved. You're not. So there is no need for none of that. The idea of spirituality is to find this connection, is to find the right door for ourselves. If by any chance Spiritism is not for you, that's so okay as long as you keep seeking, keep looking for it. So we are going to obviously focus on the Spirit's book. But from there, we are going to see how these concepts, how these ideas that the spirits brought to us in their answers formulated by Kardec, how they are seen and found in so many other great religions, great philosophies, great thoughts, great authors. And that's the idea, that we find what brings and ties us together, not what divides us. And for this first program, I'm really nervous because, I'm here talking by myself. It's kind of insane. But anyway, um, before we start, and obviously I'm going to start by the beginning. And the beginning is anything we discuss from now on, we need to start by the principle that we believe in God, the existence of God. Why? Because if we don't establish the existence of God, it's going to be very hard to develop any other train of thought. So, our number one episode is about God. And by coincidence, is question number one of the Spirit's book, What is God? But before we start that, I would like to very briefly just close our eyes for 5 seconds and be thankful for this present moment, and inviting all the mentors of this beautiful work at Kardec Radio that expands, that promotes the real truths of the Spiritist doctrine. We are here seeking, and we are thankful and grateful to all the mentors that are here in this moment. It's not an illusion, it's real, and we are thankful for this present moment. Help us, guide us, be with us. So be it. Amen. It's always good to be centered when we speak about these unbelievable concepts, right? Especially when we talk about God. And one thing that I want you to meditate and be thinking about while we are talking is, what is God for you? What is your understanding of God? What does it mean to you? Because the most important thing, and we are going to see as we study and we go through the theme, is that what's important is that we honor the God of our understanding, the God of our hearts. So, if you have the Spirit's book with you, I think it's a great idea. Part 1, Chapter 1, title, God. And the question number 1, Kardec, is very smart. He asks, what is God? Pay attention in the question, what is God? Doesn't ask who God is. And he makes it so ample, right? What is God? And the answer of the spirits are, God is the supreme intelligence, the first cause of all things. What a beautiful description. Why? It encompasses every understanding. What it says is, God is an intelligence much bigger than mine. God is the source. It's the origin. It's the creator of all things. And it's beautiful because it breaks our anthropomorphical idea of a God made into our own image, right? We think of God as this old man sitting on a throne, deciding what is just, what is unjust, deciding if we are going to heaven or if we are going to hell. And Kardec comes and says, no, it's not a who. It's not a who. It's something we cannot conceive. We cannot understand. Our capacity of understanding is still limited. And the spirits tell us that to us a little later. Don't even try. Don't overthink. You're gonna go in overdrive and you're not gonna get it because it's so much bigger than we can possibly grasp. So God is the supreme intelligence, the first cause of all things. It's the source of it all. And like I told you, we were going to compare with other philosophies and other writers. And I brought for you today this book. I highly recommend. It's awesome. It's called The Evolution of God by Robert Wright. Robert Wright, he has taught philosophy at Princeton University and religion at the University of Pennsylvania. And he has written other books. He has written The Moral Animal, Non-Zero, and Three Scientists and Their Gods. But this book, The Evolution of God, became a national bestseller. It's absolutely phenomenal. And in chapter Let me see. Um, it's a chapter. Well, in my version is page 445. It says afterward, and he starts the chapter. Look at the question. By the way, what is God? Sounds familiar? By the way, what's God? Of course, I'm not going to read everything, but I'm going to go to to second paragraph, to a specific thing that he says. So he goes, um, occasionally I've suggested that there might be a kind of God that is real. This prospect was raised by the manifest existence of a moral order, that is, by the stubborn, if erratic, expansion of humankind's moral imagination over the millennia, and the fact that the ongoing maintenance of social order depends on the further expansion of the moral imagination, on movement toward moral truth. So, makes it reasonable to suspect that humankind, in some sense, has a higher purpose. So it's that story. If God didn't exist, we would have to invent it, right? If God didn't exist, we would have to come up with some kind of explanation for all the wonder we see around us. And if we don't establish the existence of God, it's going to be very hard for us to go over other philosophical concepts. Luis, so how can we prove God's existence? Great question. So, great question. How do we prove God's existence? Can we prove God's existence? What does the Spirit's book say? Even actually, let's go and get help from the Genesis of Kardec. In the Genesis book, Genesis Miracles and Predictions According to Spiritism by Allan Kardec, one of the 5 main books of our doctrine. In item 3, he says in chapter 2, item 3, which is fantastic also, he talks about God. And in item 3, he says, another equally elementary principle that has become an axiom due to its truthfulness is that every intelligent effect must have an intelligent cause. If we look around in the universe and we see, and we as conscious beings, as intelligent beings, creation, right? If we have this intelligence and this effect, we are the effect, and we have this intelligence, it must come from an intelligent source. It does not come from nothingness, right? And in item 6, he keeps going, and there is your answer. Well then, looking around oneself at the works of nature, observing the foresight, the wisdom, and the harmony that preside over all things, one realizes that there is not one of them that does not surpass the highest reach of the humankind. If human beings could not have produced them, it is because they are the product of an intelligence superior to that of humanity, unless it were stated that there are effects without a cause. So here is the answer. And in the Spirit's book, going back to chapter 1, is still in the title of God. Question number 9, very similar to the question that was made. What proof is there that the first cause of all things is a supreme intelligence, superior to all other intelligence? And the answer of the Spirit is, you have a proverb that says, the workman is known by his work. Look at the work around you. From it alone, you can assume the presence of a workman. Some people have such a high opinion of themselves, he's talking about us, that um, that they can't grasp the simple truth in this proverb. For them, the notion of a superior being is simply inadmissible. Poor souls who could be felled by the mere breath of God. So I want to bring to you um, a beautiful poem, because the poets are the best to express um, concepts that are so hard to grasp with such a beauty and intelligence that we are just caught by its beauty. And today, to answer that question and to confirm what the Spirit say in the question 9, right? I'm bringing to you Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran is Lebanese, was a Lebanese writer, poet, philosopher, and he was born in a family that was Maronite Christians. So, but he was very influenced by Islam because he was Lebanese, right? So he had in his culture a lot of influence by Islam, and specifically the mysticism of Islam that's called Sufi, right? So he was very influenced by that. And in his book, The Prophet, one of the most beautiful books available for us to read, um, at one point, the Prophet, when he's discussing about religion, right, he says this, and this is beautiful. And if you know God, be not therefore a solver of riddles. Rather, look about you and you shall see him playing with your children. And look into space. You shall see him walking in the cloud, outstretching his arms in the lightning and descending in rain. You shall see him smiling in flowers, then rising and having his hands in trees. Isn't that beautiful? And isn't that the same concept that we are talking about? How can we not look around, see this nature, see this universe that we can observe, and not wonder who created all this, right? And the Spirit's book, confirming what was beautifully said by Gibran, has another image that's so beautiful. It's in the end of the chapter, and it's in the end of question 16. He's talking about pantheism and so on. And the very last paragraph of the discussion proposed, he says, the intelligence of God is revealed in the work of God. Just as the painters appears through the picture on a canvas, the works of God are no more God than the picture is the artist who conceived and painted it. So what is he trying to say with this beautiful analogy? The Creator reveals himself in the creation. Isn't that gorgeous? So God is the painter of this beautiful, beautiful creation. And he makes us co-creators in this wonderful work of art. And Isabel Lima is saying, good evening, Simone, great talk. Where do we find God? Oops. Where do we find God? Well, I'm going to have to borrow an answer from Deepak Chopra. Deepak, Chopra says, God is not hard to find. He is impossible to miss. God is not hard to find. He is impossible to miss. So it's our job to look how the poet, as the poet referred to us, look at the presence of God in our daily lives. Look at the uh, existence of God in nature. Look at all the marvels that we look around and see it, and our hearts just dissolve over so many wonders. So God is everywhere. God is not hard to find. He's impossible to miss. It's been so good to talk about God, and I wish you guys um, send us your concept of God so we can continue next week discussing what does God mean to you. Um, what does it represent in your life? Can you find that connection? Are you lost in the middle of this time space reality that we are stuck in while incarnated? How does it work for you? Where do you find God? And there is no wrong answer. There is no wrong answer. Even if you still can't see it, even if you still can't feel it, you are here looking for answers. And that already shows the presence of God. God is not hard to find. He is impossible to miss. We have just to focus our sight. We are so short-sighted, right? We are stuck in this time-space reality. And Albert Einstein has said, um, he has said, time and space are an illusion of consciousness. So we tend to see the time that we spend connected to God in this search for more meaningful purpose and explanations of what we are doing here. We get so lost in this time space reality that we think when we are doing this, when we are trying to find this connection with all there is, we are going nuts or we are living an illusion. No, the illusion is our physical reality. There is a beautiful image. I don't know if you guys have seen those shared graphics on the internet where there is a tunnel and the light in the end of the tunnel. And it says, the light is not the illusion, the tunnel is the illusion. And we keep going in this tunnel and we get lost in this reality because it calls so much from us, right? It calls our attention constantly and we disconnect, which is okay, which is okay as long as we keep coming back. We keep coming back. Spiritism explains to us in the law of adoration that this need to seek a higher understanding, to seek a higher purpose, um, it's innate. It's something that is in us, within us. We have this need to transcend this physical reality, right? In the end of the day, in the end of this short life that we are here during this incarnation, um, it's going to be sad if we all we have to think about is how many days we went to work, how many bills we paid or didn't, what car we were driving, or it's too basic, right? It comes to a point where we have the need to find real answers, to give purpose to our existence, to be connected to the divine, to be in alignment with all there is. And the Spiritism is going to grab our hands and tell us, go this way, and you're going to be okay. It helps us constantly. to find answers, to seek, and we will find. So now we are in the end of our 30 minutes, and I will invite everybody to close our eyes if you can. If you are driving, don't do it. But if you are home, and you can. And why do we close our eyes? Do we need to? Is it we must? No, it's just a way for us to connect faster, at least for me. It's not a necessity, but it helps us to center. It helps us to connect with this invisible world that's here with us, hugging us, instructing us, guiding us, showing us that there is much more than what we can see with our physical eyes. So if you can, close your eyes, feel comfortable, and think of a golden light. And this golden spot keeps growing as a beautiful sun with rays that touch everywhere. And all our inner vision becomes completely golden, beautiful. And we are all immersed in this light, and we look around and we see our spiritual friends, but we don't see them with their physical bodies. We see them with the beautiful light that they are. And it's all lit all around us. And we feel so peaceful because we know that we are home. We feel the power of God within us. We feel the love and the union among us, the harmony. And we are so grateful and thankful for these moments. And we look up and we see the spiritual mentors of this moment, of this work, blessing us, helping us, hugging us, encouraging us, strengthening us. And we feel so harmonious and calm and happy. We are happy because we are home. Here is home. Here is where we want to be, today and always. And so be it. Amen. And that's how we do it. That's how we find the connection, by closing our eyes and let this beautiful love energy embrace us. Like John the Apostle said, God is love. There is no better definition. There is no better way to look at it. God is love. And we are all lovable and loving. And that's our goal in life. Find, seek, fight to get there, walk step by step in love. So I'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. And if you want, you give us your concept of God, what God means to you. Maybe our second program is going to be all about what God means to you. See you there. See you next Wednesday. Bye. Thank you very much.